guys, so I'm back with an out-of-the-box video. This time we're going to be looking at the new Hyperlite 2 chest protector from Bauer. Now, I'm always excited to try new things when I get them, but especially when it's something a little innovative, new, different, something different than I've tried before. That's always a little extra exciting to, try something new and see if I'm going to like it. And with this chest protector, it definitely has some things about it that are different than any chest protector I've used before. And it's a little bit of a change for Bauer from what they've been doing, which you could say is a little risky on Bauer's part, considering they've been pretty successful with their chest protectors. And the first Hyperlite, a lot of people like that one. So, the fact that there's some of the changes they do, and I'll show you with the unit I got, it's like, we'll see. Is it better? Is it worse? Is it maybe not going to really make a difference? So this is the Hyperlite 2 chest protector. I got it in yellow. If you know, you know. Yeah, it's white, but white quickly turns to yellow with sweat stains and whatnot. I know that, but I don't know. I always get like the dark black version usually. And while you can go custom and do custom graphics and colors, I don't feel it's necessary for the chest protector since no one's ever going to see it. So to do a little something different, I want the white one. I think it looks sharp for now, but yes, it will get dirty and yellowed quickly. I know that. So let's talk about the differences here, some stuff that's new. Some of it's pretty obvious just from you looking at this. So the product description on this says that it's based on a lacrosse design. I don't play lacrosse. I don't follow lacrosse. I'm not into it. So I couldn't tell you exactly how that works with this. What is it about it that's like a lacrosse design? I just know I read that in the product description. And there are some things that are, definitely a little different about this. So maybe if you're into lacrosse as well, you might know, comment below if you can see what it is that they're talking about. So for one thing, the shoulder floaters here, this is probably the most obvious difference. It's usually a shoulder floater classically will come down like this. Start at the shoulders, come down the side of the chest. This one, they're separating that into two different things. And the shoulder floater here just kind of goes over the shoulder and then connects almost right in, I would call it the sternum here, to the chest plate. Both sides, you see that. And what would normally be the continuation of the shoulder floater is now just attached to the side of the chest here and just coming out from there. So they basically like separated what used to be a one-piece shoulder floater design into two pieces. So that's, the biggest change I see right off the bat that's very obvious. Another change I see is a little bit of a difference in the arm, mainly just right here in the elbow part. So this upper part, like the bicep and the forearm, feels very similar. Just feeling it, it might be a hair thicker, beefed up, but in general, it feels very similar. But like I said, this elbow part is the difference. Now, the design of how it articulates on the side and how it's kind of separate units or separate pieces here, where there's like a middle flap and then a top and bottom flap. That design structure is the same, but the build on the actual inner elbow part here is different. So this is like I'm not really sure what to call this material. Is it rubber or I don't really know. It's kind of a little bit of soft and squishiness to it. Feels sort of rubbery to the touch. The first Hyperlite just had like this regular nylon in the front, and it was just like a very, very classic design. The design of this is still kind of the same. It's just the materials they've used, and it's kind of beefed up here. So one of the few complaints, if any, that I've heard from people from the first Hyperlite, it wasn't an issue for me at all, but people said the arm protection wasn't great. So it's not night and day difference with the arm. Like I said, it's mainly this piece right here, that's a little beefed up over the first Hyperlite chest. I don't know if that's really going to make a huge difference, because I feel like most people who were complaining about the arm protection were talking about the bicep or the forearm area. Like I said, it might just because it's new. or it might be that they actually did thicken it a hair. I don't know that the arms are really gonna change people's mind that much. At least the stock arm. This is a completely stock unit. I didn't get anything extra on it. I don't know that these stock arms are really gonna change anyone's mind from the first Hyperlite if they thought that was an issue for them. That being said, if you go custom, you can get the mock chest protector arms on this. I've done a video on the mock unit if you want to go back and look at that if you're interested in that. You can also get the Hyperlite 1 arms. So there's 3 options if you go custom. You can get these stock Hyperlite 2 arms, you can get the mock arms, or you can get the Hyperlite 1 arms. Which, like I said, it's not a huge difference. It's mainly just this piece is different. And I don't know if it's just because of this front part or whatever, but this elbow piece here does look a little bigger in general than the Hyperlite 1. So it's gonna, I don't know, make you present a little bigger in the arms, I guess, take up a little more room. But yeah, it's not like a huge difference in the arms, but is a little departure from the first one, a little change. Like I said, mainly with this inner elbow piece here. Just trying to show you from all angles. But the design of the forearm and bicep is still very similar. It's not very... I would say the mock arms, especially in the forearm and bicep, are a little more beefed up and bigger, whatever. These are a little more streamlined. But this elbow piece is kind of bulky. Another difference they changed in the arms is the way the arms are attached to the rest of the chest protector. It is only attached by this, like, there's a loop, and this is a Velcro elastic piece. So the arms are completely removable. In the Hyperlite 1, that was not the case. The arms were sewn in. There was a Velcro elastic thing that you could use to help adjust it, but ultimately the arms were sewn in. You couldn't take them out. The predecessor to the first Hyperlite, the 2X, did have arms that technically you could remove it because it had like a drawstring thing that attached the arms to the chest. I mean, it was attached pretty well with like multiple holes that the string would go through. So it wasn't like as easy as this is to detach, where this you just unvelcro it and it comes right out. That one, there's a little more to it to detach the arm, but technically you could detach the arm on the 2X. So they've gone back to that feature with this. I guess, I mean, if you're happy with the arms, I don't know why you need to remove it really, but I guess maybe if you try it and maybe you decide you don't like these arms and you want to switch them out, I guess then maybe you can somehow get different arms and swap it in. I don't know, like, if you order this unit with mock or Hyperlite 1 arms, if that means they give you the arm but with, you know, with the ability to be able to undo it or take it apart, whatever. Or if you order like that, do they sew it in, or is it attached like it is on the stock mock unit or the stock Hyperlite 1 unit? That I am not sure about. So I couldn't tell you, you know, if you like can switch it out after the fact, but that would be cool if they did offer that, where once you get it and you decide maybe you wanted to go a different route with the arms, you could then swap it out with something else. I'm just not sure about that. But the way it is, like I said, you can completely detach the arm. And I mean, the other thing about this is that it's very adjustable. So with the Hyperlite, like I said, it did have kind of elastic piece, but I think because of the fact that it was, the arm itself was sewn in, even if you tried to adjust it with that, it didn't do a whole lot. I mean, you could adjust it a little bit, but it didn't make that much of a difference when you try to adjust it. It would just be a minor adjustment. Like, you really needed to get the right size arm for you, and then you just kind of dial it in with the little bit you could adjust. With this one, I feel like the way this system is, you can really, if you tighten it a lot, the arm is really going to come up more, or if you leave it loose, the arm will hang a little lower. So I feel like there's definitely more leeway with the arms on this as far as adjusting it to your size. So I think that is a positive. The only thing I'm kind of worried about, just looking at this and just thinking, again, this is not an issue already or anything, I haven't even used this, but I'm just wondering how well this is going to stay. I mean, this is just a piece of, I mean, it looks kind of like leather. I doubt it's real leather. It's, you know, it's probably Gem Pro or whatever. But yeah, it's just attached with that. So how long is that going to really last? You know, as we all know, Bauer in the past has had quality issues. I really had little to no issues with my first Hyperlite unit, but I don't know. It's a little worrisome seeing the way it's attached just with that one thing. It's like if anything happens to that piece of GemPro, what, you know? Um, that being said, if you watched my Hyperlite one leg pad video, I kind of had the same worry about the way the knee elastic was attached to the knee block on that. It's very similar to this. And not that I used those pads for that long, but it was never an issue. And off the top of my head, I can't think of ever hearing that ever tore or was an issue with anyone else. So, it could just be something I'm making up in my head. But, it's just something when I look at it, I'm like, could be a little more secure in there, but it could be a problem I'm inventing that would never happen. But I do like the adjustability of the arm and the fact that you can remove it and all that stuff. At the top, there's like a two-way adjustment. So you have a flap here that comes from the back that is Velcroed to this front part here. And then you also have the shoulder floater that attaches here. So it's kind of a two-way adjustment there. You can really play around with it. But that's the same that they had with the Hyperlite 1. That's really not, and they have a similar with the Mach, and that's really nothing new with that. But it's just showing you how you can kind of adjust the way this fits on the top and around your head and neck and whatnot. Let's talk a little bit about this chest plate in the front. So another, I don't know if you want to call it an issue, but a thing that I did experience somewhat with past Bauer chest protectors, and I've also heard this from other people as well, is when you took a hard shot, like right to the center mass here in the chest, sometimes it was hard to corral that rebound. Sometimes it would bounce out. Now, Bauer in general is known for their rebounds in most of their gear, right? Blockers, leg pads especially. And in those things, yeah, you want the puck to fire out. With the chest protector, you really don't, right? Because if it hits you in the chest or belly, whatever, you kind of want it to die and you want to be able to just corral it and get the whistle. So with the Hyperlite 1 and even with the Mach, I did notice like pop-outs, if you want to call it, when getting hit right here. With this chest plate on this one, I do feel it has a little more like foam to it. The Hyperlite 1 and Mach had some like softish foam to it as well, but this just seems like it has like more of that foam that could deaden the puck instead of just straight up like a hard carbon piece or whatever that was causing it to bounce out with past versions of chest protectors of Bauer. So I'm hopeful that is something that with this chest plate it'll kill the rebounds more. It definitely feels a little more squishy if you feel it there. It comes down here. And like I said, it has these other parts coming out the side of it that kind of make up what used to be a classic looking shoulder floater. That is now a two-piece with this. The belly and kind of side belly things are basically the same as the Hyperlite 1. I don't notice any difference to it. Same build structure, feels the same, just feeling it. And then it has removable flaps. So this is removable, this is Velcroed in. This piece here is Velcroed in, and again on the sides Velcroed in. On the Hyperlite ones, I took those off, I didn't need them. With this one I plan on doing that, but this is, you see the tag still on it. I haven't used this yet or anything, this is pretty fresh out of the box. So I haven't taken them off yet, but I will be taking these off. I just don't need them. Usually you put these on or leave them on if you're tucking, so it's a little longer so it stays in your pants more. I don't tuck, so I don't need this. I find the length is better for me when I don't have these on and I don't tuck, like I said. Going around to the back, the back is very similar to the first Hyperlite. I don't really notice much change here. I don't know, maybe this material is a little different, but like anything significant, I don't notice a change here. You see the same really good side like rib protection that they came out with the Hyperlite 1 that I noticed, and I mentioned that in my Hyperlite 1 videos, that it's like the beefiest rib protection I've ever experienced in a chest protector, and that started with the Hyperlite 1. I noticed it with the Mach chest protector as well, and now they're continuing with this. So they really have a lot of padding that goes on your ribs and kind of up almost in your armpits. It's almost to the point that when it's new, it can be a little weird and annoying at first, especially if you've never owned one of the recent Bauer chest protectors. It might kind of take you by surprise when you feel it, because you kind of feel it's something there that you wouldn't normally feel in past chest protectors you've used, and it can be a little annoying at first, but you quickly get used to it. Like I remember when I first got the first Hyperlite, it definitely was like, what is this? This feels weird. And like, I don't know, first 3-4 skates, I noticed it. Let's put it that way. It wasn't like I hated it, but I noticed that there was something there. It felt a little weird. But then, like, as with anything in, it kind of breaks in. The padding kind of forms a little better to your body, and you just get used to it. You don't notice it anymore. But it does provide really good side protection. Like, there is no issues with side protection with this. You can see besides like this regular side part, I mean, it has this thing that comes out, and then this other pad. Like, it's just really beefed up on the sides, and that's stock. I mean, that's not anything you have to order extra. So that is something, ultimately, even though, like I said, it might feel weird at first, I feel is a good thing, and I do like about the Bauer chest protectors. So another thing that I find that's kind of different about this, I don't know if it's good or bad. I could see it both ways. So let's talk about this. The elastic on the backside of the arm. I can't remember ever having a chest protector, Bauer or otherwise, where you couldn't adjust this. You can't adjust these. It's literally just they sewed a piece of elastic from one end to the other, and that's it. Here. Yeah, it's only those two elastic pieces. Why they went that way, I don't know. Because on the Mach you can adjust it. Hyperlite 1 you could adjust it. Older Bauer units, and like I said, just about any other chest protector I've had, I can't think of one that came with non-adjustable elastic that goes in the back side of the arm. So, it could be bad if you really feel like you need to adjust it, and like the stock way this is just doesn't feel good to you. I guess, well, you're kind of screwed, right? Because there's no way to adjust it. But, it's elastic, it stretches, so there's a lot of leeway as far as what size, like how big your arms can be that can fit in there, right? Because, like I said, it stretches or whatever. And elastic does kind of stretch, like if, let's say you have pretty big arms, you're a big guy or whatever, and it feels kind of tight at first, the elastic is eventually going to kind of stretch out and adjust to that. But I don't know, it's a curious choice to me that they decided to have non-adjustable strapping like that on the back of the arm. I've never seen that before. And like, I don't know, the only good thing I can think about is that you don't ever have to worry about it. Sometimes in the past, I guess you could say like, oh, the strap maybe would come loose or something. I mean, that was never an issue with me. I'm just trying to think of like a positive for this. Like, so you never have to worry about it changing or loosening or coming undone or something. I don't know. But I've put this on, like I haven't used it, but I tried it on, and like, it's fine for me. I'm not like a big guy. My arms aren't huge or anything. So like, it works for me, but I'm just thinking like, maybe if your arms are big, you're a big guy, whatever, it might be a little uncomfortable for you. But like I said, it would probably eventually adjust, but then you still have to go through that adjustment period of waiting for the elastic to kind of stretch out, I guess. But yeah, just something I definitely wanted to call out, and so people are aware of with these Hyperlite 2 arms. And then around the wrist is just a classic Velcro thing that tightens around your wrist. This is pretty much standard chest protector design. You have the backside protection for like right here on both arms. Have it there too. They've been incorporating that for the last few chest protectors for a while now. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't think I talked about it, but yeah, another, again, basic back elastic strapping. This whole back spine piece is very similar to the first Hyperlite. Really not much change there. So that's the Hyperlite 2 chest protector. So like I said, some interesting things, especially this shoulder floater redesign thing. I'm very interested to see how that feels on the ice. you know, this thing, let's see if my arms feel like they're more protected. Like I said, I didn't personally have an issue with arm protection, but heard others complain. So I mean, we'll see if it feels any more beefed up or whatever when I play on it. Like I said, this specific area is definitely more beefed up. I don't know about the other parts of the arm. And then, yeah, you know, like I said, this non-adjustable strapping in the back. That's really the three main differences with this. Shoulder floaters, elbow hinge thing, and the non-adjustable strapping in the back of the arms. Other than that, it's a pretty similar design for the rest of it to the first Hyperlite. And again, like I said, the literature on this product description says it's based on a lacrosse design, whatever that means. So yeah, that's basically a look at this thing out of the box. As far as the sizing, I went with the same size as my Hyperlite 1, which is a large. There's a little overlap in Bauer between medium and large. Like if you look, it'll tell you on there's like a printed on tag here. So like this says it's for heights of 5'9" to 6'1". I'm 5'11", so I'm like in the medium range or the mid range of a large. The medium in Bauer, forgot what, it's like something like 5'7" to 6 feet or something. It's something like, it's a very similar range. It's just a little lower, but I fall in the range of both. But with the Hyperlite unit, I just find that the large works for me, while in the mock unit, I find that the medium works for me. Just the way it is. I probably could use either in both, whatever, but that's just what I found using these things. I just like large in the Hyperlite, medium in the mock. So just be aware of that. Definitely check the sizing charts. They usually, any like online retailer usually will post a sizing chart or have something you can click on that shows you the sizing chart. And as long as you fall under the height recommendation of it, you should be good. You know, but yeah. So that's pretty much the kind of first look out of the box of the Hyperlite 2 unit. Very excited to try it because at this point I really trust Bauer with their chest protectors. I mean, I like the mock, I like the Hyperlite, I liked my 2X before that. I mean, the 2X is what I was a Vaughn guy for the longest time. Complete Vaughn guy for chest protectors for the longest time. And the 2X got me out of it because it just had insane mobility. And then the Hyperlite was very good too. A little bit better protection, still really good mobility. And then the mock is just like still good mobility, but like really more beefed up. And like if you want to present bigger, that's the mock is the thing for you. But yeah, so I'm obviously going to be using this. I will do a review video after I use it a bunch of times, but pretty excited to get on the ice with this. And yeah, it's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, like I said, if you're into lacrosse and you know what they mean by this is based on a lacrosse design, definitely comment and let me know. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video.